Hi, my name is Bina Maseno, team leader at Badili Africa and Miss President Nairobi County. First of all, I am so glad that we got to invite people into the space who are usually left on the margins of civic spaces. So I say that because the people we had in the session today, we had salon owners, we had boda-boda people and a boda-boda chairperson, we had chama women leaders. These are grassroots women leaders in the community who organized in the merry-go-round, and we also had a young woman from the campus who's a very young, vibrant student leader in campus. And for me, it's very, very important to have spaces like this because diversity of views, diversity in terms of how can we organize better, diversity in terms of what is needed, diversity in terms of priorities. We need to get to a point where we are able to dialogue together, but then we bring all our priorities together, but then we also co-create when it comes to solutions. We co-create and figure out who are we leaving behind, because the issues we are discussing, they affect all of us, but many a times people feel like it's a particular group of people or it's just a particular set of politicians who are deciding for all of us. So for me, I was so glad that the conversation was quite vibrant in terms of how do we move forward together? How do we disagree better? How do we co-create better the solutions we want to see in our community? I think for me what is so important is also the realization from the space today that activism is about all of us. That you don't need to be in an NGO, you don't need to be the person who's always out there in the street for you to qualify to be an activist. That activism is about active citizenry, that you can be an active citizen wherever you are, and that the most important office is the office of the citizen. And I think also Oliver from Uraia was able to unpack the systemic issue from 30 years, up to now, we're still dealing with most of the issues. I think even during Jomo Kenyatta's time, we're talking about poverty and hunger. And those are some of the biggest issues we're dealing with up until now, the same issues that were being discussed by politicians 30 years ago. And it's time to not trust that people who benefited from a rotten status quo to be the one to actually bail us out of this. There's no one who's coming to save us. We have to save ourselves.